The Shooter Shack. Welcome to the Shooter Shack. I shoot at like 80%. Where the hell they do that at? Where the hell they do that at? Welcome to the Shooter Shack. The Shooter Shack. I help you make your money back. Like where they do that at? I shoot 80%. Every Sunday with the kid. I'll make your money back. I shoot 80%. Every Sunday with the kid. Like what?
All right, folks, welcome back to the Shooter Shack. As always, Pat Gregoire here with none other than Brett McConaughey, a.k.a. The Shooter. Now, the big dance, it is set. We know who's taking who to the prom. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins coming out of the East, taking on the Nashville Predators, the winners of the Western Conference Finals. Now, everyone at home, I think they have an idea who you're taking in this one. But before we get to that, we've got to talk about our guest this week. Probably one of the biggest guests we've had down here in the Shooter Shack.
Well, Patty, there's no question about it. And this week, we are joined by the Columbus Blue Jackets captain, Nick Foligno, NHL All-Star, all-around beauty. And today, he's going to stop by and talk to me and Patty about his career, about Coach Tortorella, and the future of the Columbus Blue Jackets. But before we get to that, let's break down the Stanley Cup final.
All right, so it's the Nashville Predators looking for their first Stanley Cup in franchise history. And on the other side of the rink, you're looking at the Pittsburgh Penguins looking to win their second cup in 2 straight years. Sidney Crosby, it will be cup number 3 if they can come out on top. But Shooter, like I said earlier in the show, this Nashville Predators team, you've liked them from day one, and I think you still like these guys, don't you?
Yeah, Patty, there's no question about it. I've been riding with the boys in yellow from round 1 against Chicago, and here we are all the way in the big dance. We're at the prom date with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Nashville Predators. I honestly think that the Nashville Predators are going to win the Stanley Cup. I felt like this from the beginning. They are just too strong on the back end. They're too strong in between the pipes. Yeah, they are facing a couple injuries, like the Pittsburgh Penguins are as well. But I just think the Pittsburgh Penguins have went through a tougher road to get here. They had to play 6 games against Columbus. They had to play 7 games against Washington, and then a grueling 7-game battle against those pesky Ottawa Senators. At the end of the day, they're saying Hornquist and Schultz are looking pretty good, but I honestly feel that they are just too banged up to get this done. And with that being said, Patty, I am going with the boys down in Music City, and I am taking the Nashville Predators to win the Stanley Cup, and they're going to do it in 6 games.
No doubt it's going to be a great Stanley Cup Finals. It's been an amazing playoffs already, and it's going to close out with a big, big finals. But speaking of finals, you are a big junior hockey fan. You played junior hockey. You still watch it to this day. And a team just down the 401 finished things off in a huge finals, and you want to give them a big Shooter Shack shout out.
There's no question about it. And a Shooter Shack shout out goes to the Coburg Cougars from the Ontario Junior Hockey League. They have won the Royal Bank Cup last weekend, and they did it in fashion in overtime, beating the Brooks Bandits from Alberta 3-2. We were supposed to have a couple of the boys join us on the shack with the trophy, but these guys are so busy parading around town with the cup, interviews here and there, so they don't have time for the small people. But I'll tell you right now, we're going to get those boys in with the cup in the next couple weeks to chat a little bit to the viewers. But I'll tell you, the MasterCard Memorial Cup is also going on right now down the 401 in Windsor. And I will be in attendance this weekend for the semis and the final. And we're hoping for a Windsor-Erie final. But the winner of Erie and St. John's will go on to take the Windsor Spitfires. And imagine losing in the first round of the OHL, but hosting up that Memorial Cup. It would be quite the accomplishment. But we're looking forward to catching some junior hockey this weekend down in Windsor.
All right, from raising cups to pinning tails on the donkey, it's everyone's favorite segment. It's the Donkey of the Week.
Well, Patty, I couldn't have said it better myself, but I got to give a special Shooter Shack shout out to the boys down at freshcrowd.com. They are the social media superheroes. They take care of my social media, have grown my following immensely, and they can do the same for you. But for this week's Donkey, we are heading down to Maryland. And this week at the Maryland Preakness Stakes, it is the running of the Porta Potties, an annual event. And this year, we have a young lady trying her luck in the sprint. And it looks like she's good to go until she has a little bit of slip up on the end of the row and goes face first and gets her jibs all over the plastic on the top end. And you, young lady, are probably in need of a dental appointment, and I got the perfect one for you. Dr. J. Petrov from Maple Ridge Dental. He'll fix you up and having those jibs bright again. But you, young lady, are the Shooter Shack donkey of the week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here you have it. We got a special guest sitting down with us today, the captain of the Columbus Blue Jackets and NHL All-Star forward, Nick Foligno. Thanks a lot for joining us today, Nick. How you making out down south?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's great to have you on. There's no question about it. And we're going to get right into this thing, Nick. Now, back in 2015, you were named the captain of the Columbus Blue Jackets very soon after the Rick Nash trade. Can you talk a little bit about that experience for us? Was that something that surprised you, caught you off guard, or did you have a feeling that something like this was in the works?
Yeah, you know what? It was a surprise in a way. I mean, you know, when you come to a new team, you're just trying to kind of fit in, to be honest with you. And when I came to Columbus, I knew it was a team in transition. A lot of moving parts. Rick Nash wanted out at the time, and I knew it was a team that was just trying to forge an identity going forward from what it had, and especially playing against them. It wasn't obviously the best situation in Columbus. So I was excited to get here and kind of put my mark on the team and be a big part of the change here. And I think just naturally it started to grow that way. You know, I think you learn from some players. I was fortunate enough to play with Daniel Alfredson, Mike Fisher, you know, Chris Phillips, some really veteran leadership quality guys, and I think I learned a lot from them, trying to take it all in, and then had some really good guys around me here in Columbus like Derek McKenzie and Adrian Aucoin, and just naturally it just kind of flowed that way. And I was really honored when I got the call that they had thought of me in that light. And I think any player is, you know, it's something you dream of. It's pretty much a chance for the organization to say, this is what we want to model the team after. And, you know, I take that very seriously. So it was a huge honor, and I'm really enjoying the role I'm in right now.
No doubt a very great honor for you there, but I got to ask you, Coach Tortorella, known as a little bit of a hard ass. The media seems to, you know, portray that quite a lot, but I've got to ask you, from being a player, being a captain as well, you probably talk to him quite a bit. What's he like as a coach, and what's your guys' relationship like?
I actually really like Torts. I mean, I won't lie to you. When we first got here, you have a feeling out process for sure. I mean, he's just a very strong personality. He's a guy that is so competitive. You know, he wants to win, expects no different, and I think he knew there were some problems here. Let's be honest, we were a team that was supposed to be better than what we were playing, and you know, really could never seem to continue on success. We'd find it, then we'd lose it. We'd find it, we'd lose it, and I think he's done an outstanding job of giving us that solidarity and that consistency that we need to be successful in this league. You saw what he's done in really a year's time with this organization, this team, and he just mandated that the work ethic go up, the standard of play goes up, and but our relationship, I mean, yeah, he is fiery. I won't lie to you, we've had our arguments. I won't tell you what they've been about, but we've had our indifferences. But at the end of the day, I think we both just want to see this team do so well. So I've really enjoyed it. He's made me a better player, a better person. And I think he's done that to a lot of guys in the locker room, and that's all you can ask for out of your coach. And we'll always take the craziness with what he's done, because he's done a tremendous job here.
Well, there's no question about it. Coach Tortorella has definitely done a lot with that Columbus team you guys have down there. You guys are building and getting better, and the future is definitely bright for the Blue Jackets. But going back a little bit in time here to when you were a young fella growing up and your father was playing in the NHL with the Toronto Maple Leafs, what was that like growing up around the arenas? And can you talk a little bit about your dad and how he's influenced your personal life as well as your hockey career?
Yeah, I was pretty lucky. I think, you know, you don't realize it at the time when you're a kid. You just think this is what my dad does and kind of move on. You don't realize how awesome it is, or how different it is from everyone else's job. But I was really fortunate, and I think it kind of kicked in, unfortunately, later on when he wasn't playing anymore, and I got to be around the likes of Peter Forsberg and Joe Sakic and Chris Drury in Colorado. He was assistant coach there, and Patrick Waugh and Adam Foote, and that was like an all-star team all rolled into one. So, and as I was older, those were the players I looked up to. Peter Forsberg was my favorite player when my dad retired. Obviously, my dad was at the time, but you know, just I'm so fortunate because I think, first of all, the one thing I always say I think I took from my dad was his passion for the game. He loved the game of hockey. He instilled that in my brother and I from a young age. never made us feel like we were playing it because he played it. He just wanted us to love the game that he loved, and I think that's why we are where we are today, is because of that. He never felt forced, you know, and I think we really enjoy the game of hockey together. So we chat about it a lot. So he's a guy I call on a regular basis throughout the year. So it's really fun to be able to be in this position where, you know, he can really help guide me, and has done a great job of that, and someone that I really respect his opinion, but he's allowed me to grow as well, and I think he couldn't be more proud of both of his sons, and it's been a really special relationship ever since.
Well, speaking of your brother, was this something that when you guys were growing up, you guys envisioned playing against each other in the show?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tried to make him a goalie because that's all he was allowed to play when he was young enough, and then he outgrew me and decided that he wasn't going to do that anymore, so I kind of had to bend down to his abilities after that, but it's actually pretty fun. It's amazing. I mean, how fortunate, how many guys get to really play with their brother, and you know, you talk about it in your driveway when you're playing in Game 7 and who's going to score the game-winning goal in that driveway series, but to be out there with him, I couldn't be more proud of him. I think it's a situation now where we're enjoying playing against each other, and you know, aspire to probably play with each other one day, as you see some other brothers do that around the league. But I'm really proud of, I'm a huge fan of his, right? I've been able to kind of watch him grow into the player that he is, and he's forged himself a really nice career and become a really good player in Buffalo, and so it's pretty special. But we definitely get heated. It got a little heated actually this year a couple times, so the rivalry will always be there from when we were 5 years old, and I don't expect it to change anytime soon.
Well, it's an incredible story, and Marcus is having a great career, and he's following in his big brother's footsteps, and things are looking great for the Foligno family. But let me ask you this. Last year, you donated $1 million to the hospital that saved your daughter's life. Can you talk a little bit about that experience and explain to us what made you want to do such a fantastic thing for your community?
Yeah, you know what? It was a no-brainer to my wife and I. Janelle and I, we credit the hospital for giving us a family. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, without them doing the procedure they did to save our daughter's life, we wouldn't have taken her home. So it was a shock as first-time parents when you hear the news that your daughter has a congenital heart defect. But as you delve more into it and realize how many people it does affect, you're shocked, really, how many kids are born with congenital heart defects nowadays. And in a world like this where technology is at our fingers, you know, we just wanted to support these doctors that are thinking outside the box. So here in Columbus, we have Nationwide Children's Hospital, who did an outstanding job caring for us, and then ultimately we had to go to Boston to get the care that we needed for her, and the surgery actually they did in Boston Children's Hospital. Dr. Sitaram Amani and Dr. Turetsky were the two doctors that kind of headed that, and then Sitaram Amani was the surgeon on her. So we've donated a lot of funds to their research because, like I said, we're so fortunate to have people that think like this, and ultimately saved our daughter's life because of it. And then also here in Nationwide, we donated to research, the care, to you know, to seeing them do so much more in the cath lab here. And so we're so proud of being able to do that. We're in a position to do it, and we feel very proud of that. But it's to help the people that we talked about when we learned about how many people it does affect. You know, we wanted to give back. We felt so privileged that we could take our daughter home, and we wanted to make sure that other people were feeling that same way when you know, hearing this news for the first time, that there is some hope. And so hopefully it opens the door to a lot of dialogue and you know, a lot of research that can make these outcomes even better for a lot of kids who have it even worse. And so we've been really proud of that, and we love this community. So it's been a really amazing kind of relationship, both for us and for the community of Columbus and Boston.
Well, that's truly amazing, and we are so happy for you and your family. Now, getting back to the ice, Shooter said it earlier. I mean, the Blue Jackets, it was a great season this year, and it looks like that future is so bright for the Blue Jackets. Where do you envision this team, not just next year, but in a couple of years down the road?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, it's well, listen, we're a team that obviously hit our potential that we were supposed to hit even a few years ago. We've added some pieces. You got a kid like Zach Werenski who's come in and made an unbelievable impact on our club. Seth Jones has become an even better player. So you can see our back end, which was maybe a question mark a few years ago, has really been solidified there with the veteran presence that we already have in Jack Johnson and David Savard. And so I really like our back end. I think that's how you succeed in this league. If you look at the playoffs the way they are now, You know, a lot of the back ends are driving the offense and driving the playoffs. And you look at it, you see it in Nashville, you see it in Ottawa. So I think it's important for us going forward, but also the youth that we have. You know, I think this year was such a learning curve with how great a season it was. We ultimately only got 10 days out of it extra, you know, and I think that was a big thing, you know, how great it was, how quickly it ended, and how much work we have to do, you know, and I think that's where we're going with this, is that our group has now not just been about, oh, let's make the playoffs. Now it's about winning the championship, which is a huge step for this organization, which has just been starving for playoff success. You know, now we're looking past that, where, okay, how are we going to get to the Stanley Cup Finals and give ourselves a chance to win? So that's what I see. I see another step. You know, it's not going to happen next year. Maybe it will, and hopefully it will, but it's just continue to grow with the youth that we have, but understand that we got a really good thing going here, and the time is now for us to take that step.
Well, it's a fantastic story, Nick, and we cannot thank you enough for stopping by the Shack today. But with all of our guests, we got to run you through the last minute of play. We are going to fire some questions at you, rapid fire style, and you just give us a nice, quick, short answer. If you don't want to answer it, all you got to do is say pass. You good with that, Nicky?
Sounds good to me. I knew you'd throw this in there somewhere.
Well, here we go, Nick. The time is on the clock, and we are going to get this thing started. The last minute of play with Nick Foligno starts now. Loudest rink in the NHL?
I got to go with Montreal.
Best teammate to go out with?
I'll say Scott Hartnell.
Mike Foligno or Mike Gardner?
Mike Foligno.
Favorite Leaf as a kid besides your old man?
Doug Gilmour.
Who would win a scrap between you and your brother Marcus?
Me all day.
Bud Light or Coors Light?
I'll go Bud Light.
Whiskey or vodka?
I'm a whiskey guy.
Favorite movie?
Braveheart.
Favorite sports show out right now?
Shooter Shack.
Good answer, good answer. Domi or Probert?
Oh, Ty Domi.
And last but not least, Eddie Belfour or Archer Zerbe?
I gotta go with the Eagle, but I always liked Archer Zerbe's style, baby.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The last minute of play with Nick Foligno, captain of the Blue Jackets. We cannot thank you enough for stopping by. On behalf of Patty and myself and all of us down here at the Shooter Shack, we are in your corner for the rest of your career, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Thanks so much for having me on. It was awesome.
Well, Patty, there you have it, buddy. Another electrifying episode down here at the Shooter Shack. We are breaking down the Stanley Cup Final and had a fantastic guest. Nicky Foligno decided to stop by the Shack today. But Patty, like always, it's a pleasure having you.
Love it.
Before we let you guys go, here's a word from our sponsors. Well, we have ourselves a new sponsor down here at the Shooter Shack. As a matter of fact, we got two. But the first one, Summersby. We cannot thank you guys enough for stopping by the Shack and dropping off some goods. It is the #1 cider in Ontario. And I don't always drink cider, but when I do, I drink Summersby. And that's a beauty right there. That's the new red rhubarb flavor. It's not in stores yet, but it's right here at the Shack. Make sure you check that out this summer.
Well, Shooter, there's no doubt we've got the best sponsors in the league down here at the Shooter Shack. And I heard we now have a new member on our team.
Well, you're right, Patty, we do. OTM Sports is now live. The world's very first verified social networking site for the hockey's elite. And it's free to become a member. OTM, it's a game changer. In the hockey industry, imagine having an online platform like Facebook, LinkedIn, but it's just for the hockey people. It allows players to stay connected, find playing jobs all over the world. And I'm calling you guys out. Players, coaches, management, agent, scouts. If you guys don't have an account on OTM, you must not be that serious about your career. Hey, Patty, I just wish I had these networking opportunities when I played. Iron Mike Keenan, he is on board with OTM. And why don't you guys head to the new website and check out what Mike Keenan had to say. That is OTMSM.com. Check it out, and don't forget to sign up for your account today.
Now, Shooter, as you know, hockey players losing jibs all the time. One of my buddies actually just lost one of his chiclets, so I've got to ask you, is there someone you know that can help him out?
Well, as a matter of fact, Patty, there is. Dr. Jay Petroff at Maple Ridge Dental. He is the top dentist in Ontario. you call the number on the bottom of the screen and book an appointment today. And if you want to have a smile like the shooter, make sure you go see Dr. J.
Now, Shooter, I've been thinking about selling my house. Do you know anyone who can help me out?
Well, as a matter of fact, Patty, I sure do. When looking to buy or sell, call Liz and Mel. Liz McKinnon and Melanie Schott with Remax Rouge River are here for all your buying and selling needs. Mention the name Shooter for free staging when selling your home. Hey, that's a $2,500 discount right here from Uncle Shooter. But give them a call today at 289-314-9110 and visit their website at lizandmel.com. And Patty, while we're here down in the shack, I want to thank a few of our other sponsors. The first one, Wilkins the Barber, the #1 barber in the GTA. And when it comes to the one you want with the clippers, the one you want with the baby powder on the brush, he's the one you gotta have. He keeps this beard looking fresh and looking sharp, and don't think for a second he can't do the same for you. The Royal Oak Whippy North at Garden in Taunton. This is one of my favorite sponsors down here at the shack. Pop in and say hello today and let them know the Shooter sent you for a 10% discount off your bill. MyCustomSportsChair.com, a wonderful product. Custom sports chairs, they're great gifts for anybody of all ages. Go ahead to mycustomsportschairs.ca and put an order in and use the promo code SHOOTER for free shipping anywhere in North America. How about our friends over at JC Storage Solutions? They've always solved all your storage needs. They supply, deliver, install, and engineer all industrial pallet racking and steel shelving systems. Give them a shout today at 416-565-1196. Have you been charged with a criminal offense or a DUI? Perhaps you got a past that you would like a pardon for. Well, HW Legal Support Services can help. Give them a shout today for a free consultation at 647-460-3722.